At this point, I've played most of the Sniper Elite franchise, but I find myself wondering what the original 2005 game was all about. Only until now I actually bothered to go back and check. Might as well since I've beaten most of the other games in the series, right? This game released in 2005 and it shows. I don't even think that it's just because of the 2005 era. I've seen tons of games from the early 2000s look way more visually appealing than this. Think of Far Cry, Half-Life 2, or even Chronicles of Riddick. But here, everything is flat and dull, with bad textures, and it just looks very boring overall. It's drab and gray, but the lighting, most of all, just makes everything look flat and full bright and static. It's awful. It looks more like a 1998 game, just with higher polygon counts. The game has 8 or so episodic-like missions, where you pick the episode from the main menu, then choose the difficulty. There's 4, I just picked the default 2 out of 4. Then each of these missions has cut up individual small levels of varying amounts until the actual full episode is done. Sometimes it can just be 2 levels, sometimes 3, or sometimes 6. I hated how inconsistent it was in this regard. Sometimes I just wanted to come and launch the game and play one mission from the title screen, but found myself playing 6 individual levels in a row before it was over. And by that point I was just begging for the session to end. And that's not even the beginning of the flaws and annoyances I've had with this game. Honestly, I hated it. For the longest time, I avoided playing this game, because it seemed intimidating or too difficult, but upon actually sitting down for a few hours, it turns out it's just a stupid, janky, half-baked, tedious mess of a game. The whole experience feels like some early pre-release alpha, not like an actual game. It's very rough around the edges. For starters, the controls are just fucking awful. I've never seen a game where your character slides around non-stop as if he's on permanent ice skates. But that's the feeling you get here in Sniper Elite 1. I thought it might be some old engine quirk, with the game being from 2005 and running at too high of a frame rate breaking the physics, so I even manually capped my frame rate at 30 FPS, just to test if that would fix the slippery movement. But no, the ice skating feeling remains there, though it is a little bit better it seemed like. Not only the awful movement, the control scheme just sucks too. The mouse wheel gradually changes your movement speed. Like what the fuck? You press Z to go from crouch to standing to prone, but if you also run while crouch, he stands up anyway, so he constantly goes back and forth from crouch to stand. It's just a mess, god damn. You have some sort of inventory, which controls like some archaic shit from Duke Nukem 3D, where you have to press I to bring up another menu on the bottom right, and then for whatever stupid reason, use comma and dot to scroll through the items, then press X to select the item, like the TNT, bomb, or medkit, then press X again to attempt to use it or put it on the ground, but more often than not, like for the TNT and gadgets, he won't put them on the damn ground, except in really specific parts. Then he plays some huge animation, and half the time it just glitches out. It sucks bad. The movement feels like awful clunky shit. Generally controlling your character and going around the environment is one of the worst feelings I've had in a game. The game is this really annoying quick save shooter, where you'll find yourself wanting to spam F5 to save the game after everything you do, only to turn a corner and then lose all your health to some guy across the map, and then mash F9 to load. The problem is they cram the levels with so many fucking enemies that it's such exhausting trial and error bullshit that most of the gameplay I'm doing is just mashing F5 and F9 over and over between actually playing for 20 seconds. I really hate it. There's so many things to complain and whine about. So maybe I'll try saying something nice. I liked how it actually shows your weapons on your character's back, how there's animations for taking them off your back and using them. It's a cool realistic touch, and despite the game being this annoying quick save shooter, it at least is self-aware enough to try to decentivize the player from spamming quick save, because there's this arcade points system, and if you quick save too much, a big message pops up on the screen like, "Warning, you are saving too much. If you save more, it will deplete your score." Like, okay, cool. It's commendable that it at least tries to dissuade you from save spamming, but like, who gives a shit? This isn't Pac-Man in some 1980s arcade. I don't give a fuck about my score, I just want to progress. And trust me, halfway or so through the game, this piece of shit would be absolute torture without spamming quick save, and even with it, it's still awful. All the levels look pretty much exactly the same. It's just these drab, gray, World War II city streets over and over and over. Sometimes you go inside a factory or something, but it's few and far between. There's thankfully not much in the way of story or cutscenes, just a short voiceover briefing section before each level. And sometimes you get cutscenes of watching a few characters talk to each other, with voice acting that seems like it's just the developers working from home, talking into a Logitech webcam mic, which was pretty hilarious.
You don't look so good.
Got pinned down by NKVD.
But you've the intel on the fuel dump.
Yes, here's the layout. Main valve and control panel.
The game uses an objective system to complete levels. So you'll start a level and press tab to open your really awful map, which I never figured out how to use properly, where you can also see a list of objectives. Of course, the controls on this menu suck balls here too, so you have to use arrow keys to read the objectives. Usually it's just shit like secure the area, blow up the tanks, or just really annoying escort missions, or missions where it's like defend X person, or go talk to this guy, etc. There's a red arrow on your compass, which thankfully mostly just points to where you have to go, but it's inconsistent with what it wants you to do, and sometimes it doesn't even point anywhere, but expects you to just go read the objective and walk halfway across the map instead of looking at the objective arrow. It's just stupid and confusing. Like at the beginning of some levels, you will have 4 objectives, but it will only ever point to objective 1. You can't manually select any others as far as I know. Pretty much everything about this game is a grueling chore, and is a mindless, tedious gauntlet of suffering through endless quicksave spamming and getting shit on by hordes of non-stop ganking enemies with stupid superhuman giga accuracy shooting at you across the map with a machine gun like a PPSH and killing you instantly. They fucked this game up bad. I wanted to like it. Usually the first game in the franchise is the classic, but no, this first one is dog doo-doo. The other ones are at least enjoyable co-op shooters with more polished mechanics, but this game? Fuck this game. And oh man, what else? Oh yeah, frequently the game will have you go inside buildings and facilities to do some objective, but it's a sniper game, so of course the secondary weapons like the machine guns you can pick up are absolute shit. The accuracy on them is trash, and it's hard to get ammo, because you only pick up like 4 bullets at a time from corpses. So these inside sections just didn't make any sense, and it turns into this slowly creeping around endurance test, swinging the camera around corners to try to get the visual on the enemy artificially, so you can spray him around the corner. It's bad and just feels like RNG if I'm gonna win most of the time. The game has a couple of forced or mandatory stealth levels. Yeah, those are really bad too. Just super annoying. It has stealth mechanics like prone makes your percent stealth meter go up, but it's just so damn boring to try to sneak your way around while spamming quicksave, so most of the time I just sprinted across the map quicksaving when I didn't get caught. Another really bad thing is by default, the game will spew random tutorial hints at you. It's not like an actual tutorial, it's just a lazy menu option called tutorial on or off. All it does is every X amount of seconds, it will pause your whole game, no matter what you're doing, and display a random hint message at you, like the kinds of random messages you see on loading screens in modern games. Most of the time it will have nothing to do with what you're doing. I could be aiming at some guy's head a mile away, and I'm just about to shoot, and then bam, my screen pauses and it tells me a hint. Did you know you can use TNT to blow up tanks? What the fuck, I'm nowhere near a tank, screw off. You just fucked up my shot. I had to turn this shit off after like 40 minutes of playing the game. It's so bad. Like what, they were too lazy to design an actual tutorial? When I finally finished it, I'm just glad this shit was over. The last level is some airstrip, where again, it has nonsense objectives, where it has this side objective, where you can do optional stealth to distract enemies, and I went out of my way to do it, but it seemed like it did fuck all. No clue, it was just a waste of time. Then you have to do all this shit with killing enemies on the airfield, then a plane shows up, and then you have to make your way to the plane, killing enemies. Then it just gives you some ending cutscene of you jumping on the plane. It plays some cutscene about the war ending, and then the credits roll. It took me around 8 hours to beat it, and I never want to think about this shit again. I could have talked about a lot more gripes I have with this game, like how every time you pick up ammo, it does this long annoying animation, or about how switching guns is clunky as hell and gets you killed because of how long the animations are. But the game's just shit, alright? If you don't believe me, try it yourself. I dare you to get to the end credits. 3 out of 10.
Eagle Watch?
Eagle Watch. What's your problem?
We've got a downed pilot pinned down by NKVD. He's got a reel of recon photos Washington needs.
I'll see what I can do.